Hello, friend. So today we will learn about one of the roaming profile solution called Microsoft FSLogix, and there are many parts we will be executing this whole process. How you set up FSLogix profile solution. So in first part, in this video we will talk about how to set up a normal FSLogix profile container. So we are starting from scratch, as you know that we have a lab with the 2025 OS. So this is my domain controller. Uh, to start with the FSLogix solution, you need few things. First, we need to get FSLogix binary, which you will install on the VDA, the client machine, where the user will log in. And another is we need to set up a GPO for FSLogix profile solution. So we need ADMX and ADML files, which you get when you download FSLogix. I will show you how we do this. So I'm going to log in on my domain controller. I have already downloaded the FSLogix latest version from Microsoft.com. You can Google it, you will find FSLogix version. This is a hotfix 4. And inside this, we have ADML and ADMX file, which we need for the GPO and our binary. So now we're going to use this. In other videos, we will talk about application rules. We will explore this as well, but that would be another video. So this is the setup we need to install on the client machine where user will log in. So how I have done the GPO part. So these FSLogix ADML and ADMX, we need to install those on our domain controllers. So in policies definition, I have already copied it. So if I do FSLogix, you will find I have copied FSLogix ADM here, and I have the ADM here as well, ADML. And because now you will have question why I have done imported this. This is really if you need to import the custom settings for this FSLogix product, you need to have those ADMX files. And what it enables us, I was created a test policy which I'm putting on a template. This is blank. So if you go to the edit, and you will see FSLogix option here. So now we will see many options. These settings will only come if you will when you will import ADML and ADMX templates. Cloud cache service, that is for high availability, resiliency of the profile solution. We will talk about this in some other videos. So to configure simple profile solution, one thing, profile containers will hold everything. There are two containers, obviously, ODFC container, which is for Microsoft Office 365. And if you don't configure this, then by default, profile container will save everything. All ODFC is also the part of profile container in normal setup. But in some environments, we segregate Office VHDX file, VHD file from Office, so we can configure both containers, and we do a lot of optimizations. We will go through with this in other videos, but this video focus is for profile containers. So let's start here. So and yeah, and I need to install FSLogix on my client machine. This is just a normal setup, so no more optimizations, because we will talk about redirection.xml in some other videos, how you can reduce you can exclude a lot of files from your profile and uh, decrease the profile size for the VHT. That's mostly we do with many of the customers environment wherever we implement it. So let's see if we don't. I think we don't have FSLogix on this VDA, so we will install it. Or if it is installed, then we will just carry on. It's just nothing. Next. Yeah, we have FSLogix installed, and this was done yesterday. So okay, there is no, as I said, there is no rocket science. You can just start the exe file and just click next. It will install it. You know. So let's go to the GPO part, and we also need a profile share. Actually, that's something we already did in our some previous videos where we did roaming profile for a Citrix container. So we will use the same TS profile folder which we have created share. Permissions we can see. So everyone has access to this parent folder, and creator owner has full access to inside subfolders and files, and they will only have access to their particular folders, not other users folders, you know. So let's look for the share and fix the GPO. So we start with here. We enable first settings. I would say we enable this clean invalid sessions. That is a little important. If you have yeah, it clean up all the invalid sessions in your system. If you have, you know, so it will clean out. This is a good settings. I like it. And in login, we will talk about more optimizations in some other videos, but here we try to do a normal setup, how it will be. So we need to enable login. I don't want to enable login for everything. Let's say specific logs only. And then I need a logs for profile content. And in case you need to do more troubleshootings, you know, you need to enable logs according to your requirement. You know, printer services, you can definitely do lots. We will directly jump into our profile container. And we need to enable profile container first, one policy. And then we will do an delete the profile when VHD should apply. Enable this. Delete the local profile. We don't want to have local profile on the system. Then we need to go to the our another directory settings. As for Microsoft standard, I would say we should change the value for many of the settings here. That should be enabled. Volume type is clean out notifications. It's okay. Here's the location. We will just define it. Log retry interval. It's good to have 15. I think it's easy to do in this way. Log retry count. It's good to have 3. Then we have profile type. I like this read and write fallback to read only. Then we have reattach seconds. It is good to have 15. Reattach count, it's good to have 3. We will configure our redirection.xml in some other videos, or we will do it. I think I have time. We can do it right away, quickly. Size in MB we take by default, but if you want to decrease it, definitely I don't want to have big sizes in my environment, so I would say uh, maybe not 30 GB actually. I would say 5 GB is enough. I Okay, what was the error? Yeah, there was no error. Mm. So I said 5,000 mails, approx 5 GB. And then the last, we need to obviously configure our location. The location is our network share. Mm. I think this will work. What else? There are many things we can definitely configure. And as I said, we need to. I think we should do redaction.xml in a later phase. It's a big area actually. There are lots we have to talk about when we do that. I think we have configured the profile type. Mm. That's okay. Default, it's normal profile, but when we use in Citrix, I would say that I like this option third. I'm just checking if we need to have some more settings to clean out notifications. Definitely, you can enable this. Delete local, yes. Enable, yes. Install apex package. We will look into this later. Yeah, dynamic. We don't want to have fix. Give location size, so it will increase the VST file according to the data it's containing. I don't want to stop login on failures, on the temp profile. Redirect type. I think we don't need to configure this. No, we don't have to do this. It's Yeah, that's very easy for like just setting up one profile for the user. And if I miss anything, we will see it actually. Mm. Yeah, no space. Mm. And I can check, I don't need to log in from Citrix. I can just log in with. Before we go, we need to verify that we have everyone in my computer management. There are two groups, actually, four groups when you install FSLogix. Yes. So I'm not using ODFC, so just leave it. And I don't have any exclusion list actually, so I'm not excluding anyone. And here I say use for everyone. So my admin will also get this. So I will log out and I will log in with my test users to see how the FSLogix, and this is the same procedure you do for Citrix or like any other RDP solutions or remote desktop like Palras or Poto, or there are many actually. So let's log in with the test user one. I think I have the right password. It's not wrong. Yeah, no, it's doing something for FSLogix. So it means it's executing it. We can verify this by going into our share. Let's see if it has created the folder. Yeah, it has created one folder for test user one. And there is one R read write file. When I'm connected it will have a read write file actually. So everything in my user profile is getting saved in my profile on network share, which is via FSLogix technology. So this is just for is the normal FSLogix profile container setup is. Our next video is about ODFC, and our third video is about redirection.xml, and fourth video is about cloud cache stuffs. So keep watching our series, and I hope you will like it. And let's one thing test out. Now we are connected and we see RW, but what will happen if I log out? And let's test if it is my roaming profile and I'm saving everything. So there are many ways. I think I cannot see disk management with this account because I'm not admin, but I can log in with an admin account. CMD. And I can, let's see if I can open as a different user. And disk management, we can see I have a roaming profile. A VHD mapped actually. See, this is my profile, and this VHD is like 5 GB. As I said, I didn't do a 1024 calculation, so it's 4.88 GB in 5000, which you consider. What will happen if I log out from here? You can definitely look more settings if you want to go how the profile is actually, how what is. You can go to reg edit and have a login with different users to see what settings it's reflecting. So we are going more technical at the moment. It's KLM, software FSLogix, and then we have profiles. So you can see I have one session, and this is my session, and these are the settings which I have came in, bingo. So we have all the settings in registries, and there's one command also we can execute to see what exactly settings we are getting in, like all the redirections, as I say. So we need to go to the directory called cd program files. Obviously I'm it. FSLogix, and then cd apps. Yes, and then we can run command frx list keyboard redirects. You can see these are the things which are getting redirected to my network share. So when we are connected, we see that we have RW and the user file. What will happen when we log out? So let's do a test actually, and I will create one folder to see my things are retaining. Test folder, and I will log out. And you will see when I log out, my RW is gone because that has returned back on the container. But if I log it back again, you know that I have created one folder. That's something I'm sharing. There is no home folder redirection configured at the moment. That's something we will also do it in some of the session. There is another session for this. So now when I logged in, the RW has again recreated actually, and we have the folder available. So this is how it works, and we have a roaming profile with FSLogix. Hello friend. So in our part 2, we will talk about ODFC container. An ODFC container is made about Office 365 data in a separate container rather than not merging with the profile container. To start with, in our part 1, we already did how you configure the profile container, so we will not cover this, but we will cover about ODFC this time. So to start, we will go to our FSLogix GPO. This is the same GPO we set up in the part 1. So if you haven't seen the part 1, you should go back and check the part 1. There are a few settings I have already enabled. Means I've configured for the ODFC, which is good. First, these are by default settings, but I marked it enabled because I want to hold it. So no, you can read it here. One note, VHC locations, I have used the same location as my normal profile container. Default setting is 1, but it's 1 is enabled. Retouch interval, I have set it as 15. Include Teams data, yes, enabled. VHT, yes. Retouch count 3. Logged retry interval 15. Count is 3. Include OneDrive, yeah. If you have OneDrive, you should enable it. I have just enabled for the demo. Dynamic VST, yes, that's nice. Enable the container, include Outlook data, prevent login with the temp profile. Yeah. And the access type, this is more important because when you want to restrict users to the single session, you will use direct access. But if you are using Citrix or Parallel RAS or any other RDP solution, you want to have multiple session by the same users to the different servers. You have to use unique disk per session. But let's test how it works with the direct access, which is default. So I have two VDAs. One is C01, one is Web01, where I have installed FSLogix. So I will log in first to my Web01 server with my test account. It will create a profile, so it will take a time. We can go to our ODFC and see what it's doing. Yeah, the one more setting I think I missed to talk about is very important. You need to enable this flip-flop. If you remember, we enabled this same setting in profile container. So if you don't enable in the ODFC, it will create a different directory for ODFC. The folder structure will change. So if you see right now, we see username underscore sid. If you don't enable ODFC settings, it will put ODFC outside the folder, or it will create different folder with a sid underscore username. To push set GPU link changes, you need to, obviously, this is command I use, so I don't have to log into the each machine as admin and try to do it. You make sure you don't have firewall in between. System is busy, so it's taking time. You can see it has created one container and profile container for me. But yeah, this is the command we use, and I'm trying to stop this command because there is no point to put. Yeah, it's just a demo. You can see this is how. Yeah, there could be facts with the resources why it was taking time. We can shoot again. It could be firewall or something, or maybe connectivity issue to this machine. But yeah, I don't think so. Just leave this point. When it will come, it will show us here, or we will see the error. But you know how this works. That was the main reason to show you. Okay, so now if I will try to log in, let's see here how it works. We will verify the disk attached in computer management here. Yeah, machine is quite slow. And here we can see we have profile container and office container map for this user. So let's log into another machine. And I have, remember that we have direct access enabled, so we should not be able to get ODFC container here. Profile container work with MultiSession, no problem by default. This will take, now this is completed, so it was just a resource issue which took time to execute GP update remotely. And this will take time because it's doing a reattempt to the ODFC container, and the setting doesn't allow it. So we would see the office container not mapping, but profile container getting mapped into this session. I think our login is done so far. Yeah, you can see it's behaving weird, but let's wait. Maybe I can show you from here how many sessions we got and 35 seats. So here we should be able to see how many disks did we get office container for the user. No, we only get the profile. We didn't get the office container. I'm just waiting. This machine is a little slow, but we could see the events from here. And you can easily read logs in the directory of FSLogix section. This will allow us to log in, but there is a conflict. It's doing reattempts many times, so it is taking lots of time to connect in there. Yeah, we could see the events from here as well. Sorry. We're already connected to this machine. So here you can see we have event of from this machine. That's why that is machine is really dying. The file cannot be mapped. It's failing because there is a already used by this machine. That is the reason. So in Citrix environment, when we have users with multiple sessions, how we showed it out, we change the settings actually. I can log out from here, this session, to see if this machine responds quickly. And then we will change the GPU settings for FSLogix. So in ODFC, we will go and we will change the VDX type to unique disk per session. This is recommended settings for the so if you're using Citrix or and you want multiple sessions by the users, different servers, This is recommended settings. So we are logged in from here and we are getting from here. Let's do a restart for the guest. Otherwise it will take time to respond to us. Yeah, it was stuck in a loop with ODFC. So now we can see our files. We can delete these files folders. I hope it's unlocked now. Hold on, I think machine will boot. That was very quick. Okay, let's clean out this folder. And we will change our settings to, we have already changed it to unique tests per session. So now we have to push gp update /force again. Yeah, this machine will take time. It's coming up, so it won't get the gp update shortly. It's gonna get. Now we have changed the settings for the ODFC container, and let's log in again. So now log in again, and it will take time to log in my lab actually. It's setting a profile. So now we have container for ODFC profile and this. I will do a logout again. And I will create one folder here actually. And I will log out. So now I will log in from this machine. Okay, there's a mistake. There are other settings called compact, disk compact, which you can disable or change the frequency so that the logout is quick. I'm not sure if I changed those settings here. Let's see how is the settings for. No, I haven't enabled various compact settings and counters there actually. So I'm logged in from a new VDA. And we can see we have a session disk created for session 1 for ODFC. Profile, as I said, can handle multiple sessions. So now I'm logging from. So same user connecting to different machines. And we are here as well. You can see the folder is shared, the data is shared, but difference is we have two sessions with session file that is recommended for the virtual desktops and or the Citrix or any of the terminal server solutions. If you want to have multiple sessions by the user, same user. And if I log out, so this is the file you will have actually in the shared for the location means profile kind of path. Actually, you will have these files you will find in the user profile data. So it depends. You might do a little cleanup later on. You need to check, but this is the recommended settings. So if you want users to have multiple sessions in FSLogix, I hope this was useful. We will talk more about different settings actually in our part 4, where we will do a lot of troubleshootings and other optimizations. But part 3 we will talk about redirection.xml and how we can reduce the size of the container. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Hello friends. So in today's video we will configure folder redirection, because in the last video we configured an FSLogix default setting profile. Then we were saving everything in the profile container, all the desktop, my documents, and other desktop data is going to the profile folders, is going to the profile container, and that's the problem. When you have to reset the user profile, the user data will also get lost, or maybe you need to copy this data from the old profile to the new. So it's the best practice is to configure the profile redirection to a separate location, so that whenever user's profile get reset, that profile redirection data will not be lost. So in the new profile they will get their desktop, my documents, and everything. And how we do it? For this we don't need to all the Citrix layers. Actually, we just need one domain controller and a VDA. It's the same settings if you will try to launch a Citrix desktop, or if you try to RDP the server with the same user. It's folder redirection is the same settings. There is no differences. So to start with this, we will log into our domain controller. We need to configure a group policy where we will have the folder redirection settings. So I have created one GPO for home folder direction. And here we need to define settings. So I need to create a folder network share, where we will save all the folder redirection. So I'm creating this share in my lab on my domain controller. So I will create one folder called home folder. We need to share it and put the permission settings. This is my share. And then I need to put the anti-fuzz permissions on this. I need to add a creator owner as well. And we will go to the advanced settings and we will change these settings to this folder only, not full control. And we don't need to have modify permissions for this. We just need read, write, execute, and write. And then we will go to the creator owner, and creator owner will only have, you can put modify permissions. You can have full permissions as well if you want to allow, but in lab we do full permissions, so we just do subfolders and files only. So each user will get their own folders inside this directory. So let's get to our network share, and then our network share is called home folders. We will go to the settings, the GPO which we created. You will see it will pick the username automatically. There is one settings you need to be aware about. Settings. If you want other users to administrators to have permission on these folders, then you need to uncheck it. Otherwise, the only user will have these folders to this desktop access. So this is default settings. We keep it default. What do you want to redirect? So I want to redirect not everything. Pictures will follow home documents. They will also follow my documents folders. They will be created inside my documents. So that's nice. This will also favorite. Yeah, we create one exact specific folder for this. Contact. You can save this in everything which looks here. You can save in your profile uh, folder. What do you say? Profile. Uh, yeah, container for FSLogix. Or if you don't want to save it on your profile container, you can just redirect to the home folder direction. So those settings can be managed. I want to save my documents downloads as well into my redirections. I don't want to increase the size of my home folders. There is one settings we will also talk about redirection.xml in our next video, where we will see how we can avoid duplicacy of these folders in the container and the redirections location, and reduce the size of the profile. So let's see here. We could obviously save the data remotely as we want. I don't need this. So the GPO is done. And let's go back here. And my client machine, the video machine is in this video OU. So I have to map this GPU here. You can show all and you can see what the settings are here. So settings are almost done. And I have to do a GPU update slash force. So I can go, or maybe I can just reboot it, or GPU update slash force is also. So let's do this way. Right now the GPU hasn't come up, So we do with administrators. Okay. We will do GPU update slash force on this machine. We could do it remotely. We can do it. There are many ways to do it actually. So we are on the machine. Right. We are local U administrators. That's why there is no FSLogix profile for this. We can definitely switch users. I'm not sure what's the problem with the local user on administrator on this machine. That doesn't stop us from doing anything. I think I have some temporary profile problem on this machine with the local administrators. So that's doesn't affect. We can, I will fix it later. But let's do a GP update on this machine. And this is the domain administrator. So we will see our profile getting created in the network share, which is FSLogix. Yeah, we see it. I'm not sure if the GPO has come up. Let's see. Yeah, GPO is also being pushed actually. That's nice. So we don't have to do GPO updates last force. The GPO was quick. Yeah, that's great. I think when we enabled the GPO, it was already pushed in. But I will run the command just to show you what command you need to run. It's taking some time. It's a new set profile, so obviously it will take some time for setup. Again, so the command we need to run command called gp update /force, and here we run this. Yeah, little slow system. Okay. That's the command we run. I think it's a very familiar command, familiar to everyone. So then we will log out and we will log in with our test accounts, and we will see all the folders are getting created in the remote locations. Yes, we do. You can check by running the command called rsop to see the resultant set of policy, what policy is being applied on this machine. That's another command. You can test it, or you can read about it. Okay, we are logged out now. This is so we have domain administrator account here, and now we will log in of the test accounts. The benefit with this is I will show you right away. So we are logging with our test user 2 account. And all the users directory will get created here actually shortly when the desktop is created, and everything is. Applying folder direction policy. Yeah. You can see all the folder structure is being created for test user 2. And we will create some test folders on the desktop, and then we will reset the user profile, and then we will log in back again with the same user, and we will get our folder there. So resetting profile will not be any loss for the user data. That's something is the benefit of full redirection. And I would recommend we should always configure this in the roaming profiles. Or we want to save user data at remote locations, then you should have it actually. So this is my test user 2 account, and I'm going to create some files and folders here. Test user 2, test user 3, test user. Okay. So now we log out. So now we log out with test user 2, and we will reset the test user 2 profile, or I will delete it just right away. And I will log in back again with the test user 2 user here, and we will get our folders back, So we see now we have our folders available here actually. So resetting user profile does not result as a loss for user profile data when it comes to actual data, not the profile data. So I hope you like the video. Don't forget to watch our next video about redirection.xml, by which we can save a lot of profile size, or maybe a lot of data in junk data, I would say, or unwanted data to save in the profile container and reduce the profile size for the user. Have a nice day. Welcome back, friends. So today we will continue with our FSLogix series, and we will look into the redirection.xml file configuration. And yeah, so let's start. We don't need a big infrastructure to test the FSLogix redirection. We have everything what we need, but we can only test with our domain controller, and we need one VDM machine, because we will not test via login to Citrix. We will test will RDP. That's the same procedure, and it doesn't need any extra configuration. So we will go to the domain controllers. Let's start with the redirection.xml configuration. And why do we need redirection.xml? If you are aware about Citrix profiling or any other kind of profiling solution, you might know that you need to exclude some data from user profile bubble. It could be requirement from the application side. It could be requirement from you want to dump out the junk data. You don't want to increase the profile size for the user in the environment. So that's why we use exclude functionalities. It's very easy with the Citrix profiling. If you use Citrix UPM, you could go to the studio, or you can use ADM templates and define the exclusion path. But in Microsoft FSLogix solution, we don't do it this way. So we create one redirection.xml file. We already have imported our FSLogix ADM template into the GPO Active Directory environment. In the previous sessions, we did tested how to configure FSLogix. So let's move a little further and do the redirection.xml part actually. So I'm going to log into my domain controller. I have already configured it. So let's go through with this. What you need to do, you need to create one redirection.xml file first. So what I've done, I have opened a notepad file and this is how it looks, the redirection.xml file. I have already excluded all the common folders. You can definitely look the calculations, go to the Microsoft articles and you will find it more information there. What does these means actually? I don't want to mirror these folders into when the user log out, so I'm excluding it. So I'm using a copy equal to 0. There are different values, 1, 2, 3. You could use according to your requirement, and you get more explanation in Microsoft articles. It's very easy to just Google FSLogix. I can show you how you do it. I'm already there actually. When you totally want to exclude, just use copy equal to 0. But I think I will find yeah, there are different values actually, and there is explanation about it. What do you why you use 0 and 1? So please go through with this. And I think 2 we don't use, as it said. You can definitely look what is your requirement and you use it accordingly. In my solutions, mostly I haven't get a chance to use other values so far, but yeah, if you see it now right away, I used only zoom setting as a tool, which is a best practice referred. I found it the articles. I think it's only for zoom. I don't have zoom in my environment, but you can find it here. Redirection .xml templates, and you can find many articles about it, how to create it and how to do it. I think this will work. Yeah, this blog I have been reading, it has very good article about it. You can go to the stealthpuppy.com. I will write my own document about this as well in my blogs soon, but I think I'm more focused on making this video series. So let's see how he does. And you can use these, you can read this concept. It's not much, but yeah, you can definitely what you need to exclude is based on what you require actually. So there is no standard templates, I would say, but you customize template according to your need. Very simple. So I won't say that you follow this template or you follow this template for the redirection.xml. You get some templates and understand what it does, and you customize it according to your environment. That makes your life easy, and you have full control on your configurations, and you understand it actually. So I have created one XML.file in my environment, and here it go. It keeps little information. I think you need to read about Microsoft Teams, Outlook, and other applications, Java and others. There are documentations you can find on the vendor sites, what to exclude in the roaming profile. That makes I do it that way. And yeah, and I will just configure this redirection.xml in the GPO. So here is my FSLogix GPO. Click on edit and go to the policies. Administrative policies. As I said, I already have FSLogix templates in my profile, means my Active Directory environment ADM template. So and here I have defined the path. You don't need to write whole redirection.xml file. You can read this what it says actually. So don't do mistake by defining the redirection.xml file afterwards here, you know. Mm. Yeah, just leave it like this. Mm. And click OK. There it go. And I have one Windows normal machine 2025 OS running, and there is no impact. FSLogix support 2025, so it works. I know it's a completely new OS, but there is no risk of using this OS version in the labs or maybe in the production. Even some customer has started using it actually. Mm. Mm. So what it help in decreasing the size of your FSLogix container. Otherwise, you will see if you don't you have this configuration for the redirection.xml, or maybe in the same, if you have Citrix UPM, you don't use exclusions, your profile size will go very big. The only difference is in Citrix UPM you will have slow log on when you have big profiles. In FSLogix you will not have slow log on. Most probably no impact, but you will be consuming a lot of space. That's in both cases, but yeah, in case of Citrix UPM you get impact much with the large profiles, but FSLogix doesn't give penalty on the base of this. So I'm logged in now, and we see, all right, I have an what's the size of my profile? I don't have much installed, so it doesn't show exactly how much it make differences, but I have seen customer environments, or I have done configuration in customer environments where profile was like 1 GB approx, or 2 GB, or maybe more than 3 GB I have seen. After configuring this redirection type smell, I was able to squeeze it under 1 GB. In case of it was 3 and more, and even it was 3 and more, I was able to squeeze it under the 200, 300 MB for the customer file size. So if I calculate number of users based, it saves a lot of storage data. So I would say it's a very valuable configuration. We should always configure it. And it's also a requirement with some applications like Office 365 licensing configuration. You need to do exclusions and inclusions. Even though if you use Zivanti or any other roaming profile solution, you have to do it this way. You have to do those exclusions. I mean, so how do I check what has been implemented? Let's see. So this is my profile. I go in here. Uh, uh, I can go to this program data. Yeah, don't forget to do GP update / force if you have implemented the configuration, because this has to implement. Otherwise the policy will come, but maybe when you're testing it, it's not reflecting. So you need to do it little. You know it. What I mean. Uh, we have been doing this command many times. You can read, there are these kind of logs. If you use Office, you can go Office container, read logs for this, but we are into profiling containers, so let's go in here. Let's go. The time is 4:46. Mm. So here the session started, but before to this, we would have the configuration which is being called actually. Do you see this skid says adding exclusion rule? From where it is coming, these are coming from the file which we created. Let me show you. Here it is. See it now? So this file is very important to understand when you have issue with FSLogix solutions. I think in next my session I will more talk about how you troubleshoot FSLogix related issues, more investigations. There are more to come. That would be maybe the last video from me. But we have more coming in. We would be more testing about Citrix products and roaming profile solution in Citrix and creating redundancy replications, how Citrix has solved this, Uh, but you will see these folders get created and then it says add exclusion rules, and these rules are coming from our redirection.xml. So we are already redirecting these folders to my home folder redirection. So why do we need to have it in this? So we need to exclude it. We don't want it to be on the roaming profile. There could be chances that data get changed, or overwritten. There's a risk. So these are the things we do in exclusions in redirection.xml files. I would say you play with the tools, test it these things yourself. You will find it more useful. There are new redirection.xml configurations available in the market. You can look into this. You can investigate based on application use because Java has. I have seen applications which use Java. You don't need all the Java cache and everything. Depends on applications to application, but you test it. If it works fine, doesn't affect your application and help you in saving the spaces on the storage, go for it, I would say. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to watch the next video. Take care.
Hello friend. So today we will do some testing about app masking, and when I'm talking about app masking, this is FSLogix app masking. This is a Microsoft product. I know many of the people use FSLogix. You might have seen my previous video about FSLogix profile solution, but app masking is a very good feature from Microsoft. We can create a lot of application rules, and when you will think, okay, why do we need to create application rules? And there are a few cases I can talk about it. And I would say, suppose we have one server, or we have one machine where we are running Windows OS, and we have n number of applications installed. And if I say n number of applications installed, I can take an example. I have a machine where I have installed Chrome and Edge and Mozilla, and there are many users who are connecting on this machine, but due to security reason I want to restrict some users to only use Mozilla and some users to only use Chrome, and they should be only able to see those application which I will create rule in app masking, and it helps in yeah, it hides application, it hides application folders, it hides all the application based settings in OS, operating system. This is the one case. Another case is more relevant to Citrix. If I will talk about, suppose we have one image and we installed, as I said, n number of applications there, and we can restrict in the same way there, but the main concept is we create in many of the Citrix environment, we create multiple images because we don't want to give access to users on all the applications due to security reason or the business restrictions. There could be other concerns as well. So what we do actually, in normal we create multiple images, and that creates a little bit of workload for the Citrix engineers and operation team to do a patching and other activities, to keep it updated and keep it running for operations. With app masking, what we can do, we can avoid creating multiple images. Actually, we create one image, we install all the application on that image, and we set rules on that image for users based on AD groups. That's how we do in Citrix. We publish application, we assign application to AD group, and we add users to that AD group. But if we are publishing a desktop, we are and we want to be very restrict that, okay, I know that there are many ways you can hide icons in start menu. You can change the permissions on the folders, and assign, but that's a little complex, and it's very hard to maintain in long-term operations. So why not use app masking when Microsoft has created this product a long way back? And I think, as I know that very rare companies or very rare engineers use this functionality. But why don't we use it? Actually, we just create rules, deploy FSLogix agent on the machine, and when I say when we deploy FSLogix agent on the machine, it doesn't matter. We don't want If you don't want to use FSLogix profile, you don't use it. Simple. But you can absolutely use app masking rules actually. So Microsoft doesn't restrict, and Microsoft application licenses compliance follow these app masking rule, are compliant with that actually. So if you say one example, you have one machine where you are running Office, and you don't want to, and there are multiple users logging on that machine, but you want to restrict Office licenses for that user. You can create an app masking rules and restrict access to the users for Office applications. Then Microsoft is compliant with that rules. So users, because it hides application, it hides everything for the user on the kernel level. So user can't use Office at all, even though they log in. Otherwise, what Microsoft says, okay, if the user will log into the server, he will use Office licenses. That is the one case. There could be many cases for this. So let's jump back to the practical, how we do this. It's not tough, it's very easy. So I have one machine which I called it is Citrix VDA, because I'm running this Citrix VDA machine in my lab. So to create the rule, I have to open the rule editor. So you can see on my desktop I have 3 applications installed, which is one is called Edge, Google Chrome, and Firefox. So I will go and find my role editor. So here is the rule editor, and I have to create a rule for Google Chrome. So I will name it as a new, and I will give name Google Chrome. And now it will ask me, yeah, what is the rule set you want? You want to create a blank rule set? You want to create a rule set for particular path application, or you want to create rule for any installed application. So I will take an application called Google Chrome from here, and I will scan it. And this will identify all the path for this application, registry keys, the installation path, and will show us in this console. So now we will see that if I will click on manage assignment, in manage assignment, we will see now this rule is not applying to anyone. It says everyone no applies. So I will just test it. If you need to test it, what will happen? So if I apply this rule to system now, you will see the Chrome is gone because it is hiding Chrome. If I unclick it, it's back. So let's test one thing. When I apply this rule for the testing, this is how you test the rules. And if I go to the C program files, Google Chrome, and it is blank directory. Where is the application? But application is there. It's hiding everything. It's hiding everything on the kernel level. So user won't see actually application or the settings or anything. It's just hidden. And if I uncheck it, then application came back. So this is how you hide application completely. I know there are other applications you can use, but you cannot implement these settings with that. There are many complex ways to change permissions and everything, but that's not an way you want to manage an operations, or you want to spend extra money for buying some third-party tool and doing this. FSLogix is free. Come with your OS licenses. So we go to the manage assignment, and I want to implement this rule to some AD group. Let's see. Let's try to import an AD group. I have a group created for Chrome. So now I have said this rule should apply on Chrome apps. Sorry, I want to say that this rule should not apply for the Chrome RAM. So any user who is the member of this Chrome application will see the Chrome, and any member, and I will say it apply. So anyone who is not the member of Chrome, or I can just add domain users. That would be a very domain users, and I will say, yeah, this rule applies to the domain users, and I can delete everyone, no problem. So domain users, sorry, I removed the wrong one. Domain users rule applies, yes. And when I say Chrome, I said don't apply these rules to Chromes. So you will see we have just created a short rule, and I have applied. Now you will see this. Why administrator is looking, is getting this application because I put domain users, and administrators should have access to this application, but to maintain this, we say we have domain users, but we say administrators. And you will see, we will test it. Actually, I have 2 accounts. So administrators, okay, that's a Uber agent pop-up. It's in lab. It will go in a while. So now that's gone. Okay. So we say this rule should not apply for administrators, should only apply to the domain users who are not administrators. So apply, okay. And now this rule is not, we have created a rule, but we haven't copied this rule into our folders. So if I copy this rule, in order to implement it, the rule should be presented in apps rules folder. Paste. Once you paste it, rule is applying. You can test it right away. So if I will log in on this machine with test2 account, which is not the part of, let's check who is the part of what. Because administrator is the member, my administrator account is the member of administrators group, and I said this rule should not apply for administrators, but this rule should apply for test2 users who is not a part of Chrome and administrators group. So let's verify it that the membership is correct, which I'm talking, I'm sure. But I think I created those AD groups accordingly. And meanwhile, I log out. Then I go to this, and we can open our Active Directory. It's opening. It's taking time. Let's try it once more. So I have an account. I remember the password, which is test2, and let's see, test2. Yeah, test2 is not the member of Google Chrome. So when I log in with test2, this rule should apply. How do you check this? You see the Chrome is not on the desktop because test2 is not the administrator and test2 is not the member of Chrome application, And this is something you can get multiple rules and assign, you can hide Google Chrome or any application based on that, So if I go to the C drive, and if I go to the C drive, I go to the program files, I go to the Google Chrome, and it's blank. But application is here actually, and I'm on the same server. So if I log in with test1 users, I will see these things. So this is how easily you can restrict completely, make an application ghost for the user, putting your restrictions. So there's test1 and test2. Test1 is the member of member of Chrome apps. So test1 should have access. But let me reset the password for this. I think I don't remember it. Now, so if I log in with test1 account on this, and we should be able to see the Chrome here. See, it's the same server. We have test1 has access to the Google Chrome. So this is how it is very easy, and you can create multiple rules and deploy it. But now you will be thinking how you can maintain these rules, So the very easy way I will tell you is that create a share. Whenever you make a rule, put the rules on that share, create a GPO after second step, and replicate that share content from via that GPO to the location of each server, C program files, FSLogix apps and rules. Replicate the files in there, You can complete, you can do any scripting, you can do schedule task, you can do a lot of things via group policy, there are many ways to achieve that. That's up to you, how whichever is you feel comfortable for you and easy to manage. I hope you liked it, and keep testing, start testing the facts, the product, and it will make your life easy. Thank you.
Hello, friend. So in this session, we will talk about FSLogix troubleshooting. We have seen in previous videos how to configure FSLogix, how to use security features there. And now we will talk about how to troubleshoot FSLogix. So that would be more, we will talk about more logins, where we can find the logs and how do we read them. And we'll talk about the best practices. So let's start talking about the best practice for the FSLogix. And there are 5 best practices which I would say we should do when we implementing FSLogix. First, always try to use the latest version if it suits to your requirement. Number 2, always have a proper antivirus exclusions. And number 3, use a dedicated profile share, because it could be you can share this profile, share with other services, but when it comes to performance, if you have multiple shares on the same host or same sources, it could that you might other source will use a lot of resources, and your profile's source will not get that many resources for the users when they're logging in. So it could affect. And this is mostly when you have an enterprise-based solution. For the labs, there is no difference, and you should have some kind of monitoring on your file shares so that you know that there is a better IOPS on the network share where you are storing profile shares, FSLogix container, I mean, and you have a very good less latency between that. There are many type of loggings you can enable in FSLogix, so it depends on how much logging you want to do. And I have enabled FSLogix normal login, so we will look into those logs. So let's I'm using the some kind of latest version of FSLogix in my lab, and let's talk about the second point, which is about antivirus exclusions. And if you Google on and you go to the Microsoft website, you will find what should be excluded. It's well defined. Always keep visiting this link, which comes to overview prerequisites for the FSLogix. And here you will find very good content about what should be excluded. And there are many other blogs as well talking about the same thing. I will write a blog about this in as well on my website, which is ittechieminds.com. So you will find that information there as well very soon. So that was the second topic, and now third topic is about use dedicated net profile share. So I'm using this is, as I said, this is my lab environment, so I'm using a profile share which is shared with multiple services. But yeah, make sure you have proper permissions, NTFS permissions, and so you don't have any problem from the permission sides when it's about creating profile or updating or reading. Otherwise the profiles will not get created, or there will be problems in updating the data on the profiles. There could be X number of issues. And yeah, profile share is a must. And also you need to look few values. Let's go to the logs. Where do you find the logs for the FSLogix if you have an issue? So let's go, and the logs you can find on the VDA side is, you need to go program data, and then we go into the Microsoft. Oh, I'm on the wrong machine. Sorry, guys. Yeah, this is the VDA where I have the FSLogix software installed. So I think I have it open, or I can obviously open it. No, it's not open. So you go to the program data, and in program data we have FSLogix, and here we have the folders called logs. And in the logs, as I said, there are multiple kind of logs we can enable in FSLogix. It depends on the requirement. And how will you enable that? You will go to the your policy, and then you go to the edit settings of your FSLogix, and then you go inside more, and you go in FSLogix. Then you have logins, and now here you will see you have many kind of logins enabled. But I have enabled it, and I'm using only container based profile logins. So in case you need more logs, you need to enable this, and according to your requirement, and then you will have more data to read on the VDA sites in the logins. So come back here, and I will go to my profile folder, as I said, and here you can see whole sequences for the logs. What actually is happening. You will be able to find all the errors here, and you will be able to troubleshoot. That is the best way for all the FSLogix engineers or administrators do it. Actually, I find it very useful, and you can see all kind of logs here for the users and catch it and solve it. Actually, I would say that. And another is like you need to make sure. Suppose you are not getting the FSLogix profile container created, so you need to first ensure that you have a correct GPO. Correct GPO is mapped to the OU where your machine is residing. Like in my case, it's here, and my VDA machine is this. So I have a machine in the right OU, and the GPO is pointed on here as well. You should also need to see the permissions. You have right permissions, and yeah, it shouldn't be disabled here. It should be enabled. Uh, yeah, and delegations. Mostly it's a default. Nobody else. Most people don't change it, but yeah, some organizations have different templates and settings according to the security requirements. So just have a look here. And when it comes to settings, you need to see that you have right settings enabled, right path defined for the VSD locations. Yeah, if these settings are correct, you should get the FSLogix profile when you log in. Yeah, one thing also need to ensure that you have FSLogix application installed on the VDA. Otherwise, you won't get the FSLogix container even though you have a GPO. So the software should be installed on the client machine. In my case, it's a VDM server running for 25. Yeah, and then you can definitely do an RSOP on the client side to see you are getting an FSLogix policy here. I think I can show you. This will also give you information about what policy you're getting in. Sometimes you make changes to the policy and the policy doesn't apply, so you need to do a GP update /force on the client side to see that okay, you get settings. So when I did RSOP, it will give me a resultant set of policies which are pushed on my machine. There you go. So you can see I have got all the settings actually what is placed for my FSLogix. Yeah, all are here with GPO is pushing it. So I can see it here as well. So it gives, okay, I'm getting settings on my client side. And another way is also verify. You go to mostly normal users don't have rights to do that in the most of the environment, but administrators have rights to go to the disk management, see are we getting disk? Yeah, I'm getting disk from FSLogix. This is my FSLogix disk. One thing also, make sure you have a space on your profile share. Otherwise, there's sometimes we don't look in at that side, and then you should have good monitoring actually for the profile share. If you don't have it, sometimes we miss that alarms, and most all the other users start getting issues with the enter mapping. Maybe cannot write anything. They are losing data when they log out, because there is no space left, and they lose out. And yeah, as I said, you can definitely change. There are a lot of settings you can do. Also, like what kind of logins you need. You can play around with the registry settings in HKLM software FSLogix login, and you can change the value in case you need more deep logging. Actually, I would say log severity. 0 is for none, 1 is for error, 2 is for warning, 3 is for info, and 4 is for where browse. So if you set that value to 4, you will get too much logging actually. Might be you need it for troubleshooting. Check the event logs for the FSLogix. That's where we find it. Always ensure that you have proper antivirus exclusion for FSLogix. Otherwise, it could affect the performance for the users when they're logging in. They might you have a fast system, but you have a slowness because your antivirus is putting pressure on FSLogix process. So you need to ensure that you have proper process excluded and the path excluded and the VSD files are excluded in your terms. So now, if you want to read more about FSLogix, what is happening, you go to the application services logs, Microsoft FSLogix, and then here you have apps. You can see admin based logs here. And the most important is these. So you can read basically what exactly is happening for when your FSLogix is this. So I have many errors and I should need look into this and try to troubleshoot it, solve it. Yeah, it's a Microsoft theme package. Yeah. So some tweaking is needed in my environment and just the lab. So in these logs, you will definitely find a lot of useful information when you have issues. So don't forget to read these logs as well and the log files. And yeah, make sure you have a VHD size limit set. So via GPU actually. And also check that the container for the user has not reached that limit. If it has reached this limit, user will get problem. So there are a few facts you need to look in, and permissions is most important, and your exclusion is important, and yeah, you can use system tray for FSLogix to see the status of your VHDs and troubleshooting. You could use um, FRX SVC process actually that is excluded. FRX CCD.exe, FRX tray.exe must be excluded in the antivirus. As I said, antivirus is very important. Otherwise, you may jump into issues. And many people sometimes miss it actually. And in application logs, sometimes if the user profile is not the FSLogix PSD is not mapping, you must look for the event ID 1521, 1511 application logs, which should say user profile cannot be loaded. Yeah, there could be n number of symptoms. Sometimes we have settings in FSLogix that delete local user profile when the user log in with FSLogix. So yeah, I think the event logs and will give you a lot of information when you have issues and the log files. I hope you like this video, and don't forget to look my next video series which is coming for Uber monitoring in Citrix. And there are a lot of things I'm evaluating and testing. Actually, we'll be uploading about it. Also, don't forget to watch my cybersecurity channel. We have lots new coming there actually. I'm done with my testings and everything, so enjoy the channel.